Hello, hello, hello. Hi, I'm Victoria Baylor. I am your neighborhood personal branding strategist, and I am here for another personal branding tip. Good morning, or at least it's a good morning where I am. Headed off with a 9:20 something a.m. start, and don't know when this message will reach your ears, but I hope that whatever's happening for your day is pleasant and that it is starting out quite blessed, or ending quite blessed, or in the middle quite blessed. However, I'm here today to talk about something that has really been pressing on my mind. And I'm a thinker, so sometimes I have a certain thought, something gets planted in there, and it just starts to grow. How many out there can testify to that fact? It's amazing how ideas can take over our minds, shapes our thoughts, and really give us a different perspective, especially when they're positive. So today I was actually thinking about the notion of distractions and specifically how distractions can sabotage. So we all understand how external distractions can be the worst, right? You're supposed to get an assignment done. You've been thinking about, the Netflix show you've been, binging on all weekend. You have 2 episodes left. There's a distraction, or there's a possible distraction if you give in. We think about distractions from other avenues, someone either doing something to us, or whether it's irritating or slightly threatening, it's still a distraction. It's something that pulls us away from, what we desire to be doing, or shifts our focus. But one interesting thing is that we oftentimes don't think of distractions in terms of us being a distraction, right? So, I mean, in an obvious sense, you can think of yourself being a distraction if you are being the person that's irritating to someone, or if you are the one getting in the way of something, or if you're the one trying to stop something negative from happening to someone else. You can be a positive distraction, you can be a negative distraction. But let's actually think of in terms of distraction as focusing in on ourselves. What happens when we become the distraction? And more specifically, when it comes to our personal brand, what happens when we become the distraction, and the distraction that we are showcasing ends up sabotaging some kind of great opportunity we could potentially have. So case in point, personal branding is more than just the way you look. It's more than what you're just showing up wearing. It is the essence of who you are as a person. It is what people experience when they interact with you. It goes everywhere from what you're wearing to how you're speaking, how you're connecting with other people, down to the tone of your voice, onto your body language, through how you show up online, all the way through how you exude your confidence. It is so deep. Your personal branding actually touches almost every facet of your life, if not every facet. So what happens when part of your personal branding is off and it becomes a distraction, and it becomes such a distraction that it sabotages you from wonderful opportunities? And that's what I want to pinpoint and turn your mind to. And again, case in point, for an example, say, for instance, you are a very well poised individual. People like you. Things are going great in business. However, recently you've developed some kind of communication issue. You don't quite articulate. Well, now you talk about articulate. Say, for instance, it's been really hard for you to deal with maybe the expression of discontent. So it becomes an issue where you not only verbalize it, but you show it in your body language in a way that's very off-putting. So the cycle comes around for promotions, and everyone remembers, oh, such and such she's been very difficult to work with. And mind you, you might be validated in your issue. You might be even validated in your feelings. However, when it comes to being professional, and when it comes to adhering to a professional standard, oftentimes, even when we're right, if we don't express it in a way that's very professional, in a way that does not sabotage ourselves, it can in turn sabotage ourselves. So think about your personal brand as being essentially the fortress that protects, or your personal branding tools, those things that you have that actually protects your personal brand message. So your communication, your appearance, your behavior, all these different tools you have that actually just emphasizes your brand value, who you are as a person. When one of those tools becomes compromised or is misused, it can lead to problems. So just want to drop that nugget in your mind today, just to think in terms of distractions aren't always external. Sometimes we can be the distraction. And in business, it is very imperative it's extremely important to be mindful of what we are always projecting. Self-awareness is so critical. And the thing is, though, about self-awareness is a lot of people aren't aware that they aren't aware. And that's a unfortunate truth. I mean, think about it. And oftentimes, it just takes a certain kind of person to be open to that kind of truthfulness from other people, or even truthfulness with themselves. Maybe I do come off defensive. Maybe I do come off, a little bit combatant. Maybe I do put a wall up. Maybe the way I deal with conflict isn't the best of. Maybe the way I talk when I'm upset is not the best of. All of these issues are personal branding issues. And it's so important to realize, again, especially communication being the biggest one. When people see you and they see the way you look, of course, they make an opinion and they can assess what's important to you. That may be true. However, if you get past that part, or even if you pass that part, and you get thumbs up from everybody, it's like, oh, she looks like she's competent. She looks like she's on her game. She looks like she's a woman that really knows what she's doing. And then you turn around and open your mouth, or a situation goes awry and it's not handled well, then there you go. And the thing is this is not an attack against being a human being. So anything I'm saying is not against that. We all have our down days. We all have our struggles. We all have our stressors. We all have our idiosyncrasies. We are all special with a capital S. That is noted. But when it comes to sabotage, you have to realize oftentimes it's the repeated behavior that goes unchecked that's what can lead to our demise. So as women, it is so important, with so many opportunities coming open to us, with new horizons out there, we don't want to create any kind of situation where we don't get to step into what is truly ours, step into our opportunities. And it's so good to check those areas about yourself. But the truth and the trick is we can't usually see things within ourselves. It takes someone else seeing them. I specifically, as a personal branding coach, I love that part of my job. I love that I'm highly analytical and I'm highly observant, which is my superpowers. And I get to use them to help other women just make sure that they are good. Find the areas where they're doing really great in their personal branding, find their genius, their gifts, their talents, help them focus on those things. And at the same time, help them find their blind spots. Because it's not so much what you're doing well that will serve you well. It will. However, it's also sometimes what the negative stuff that will sabotage you, and it will sabotage all the good you're doing. So you want to keep your eyes on your strengths, but at the same time, you want to make sure you're not getting eaten alive by some of the negative aspects that you're not putting in check in regards to your personal branding. So again, I'm here as your personal branding strategist, just chiming in on, again, a thought that's just been real heavy on my mind, thinking about the power of your personal brand and thinking about, unfortunately, what happens when we don't realize the distractions within our personal branding that can sabotage it. So with that being said, that's just a thought and a pointer. If you need any assistance with your personal branding, or if you're just curious, like, where do I measure up? I offer an assessment where we can look across 7 dimensions of your personal brand, and I can tell you where you're good, and I can tell you the areas where you probably need to just kind of be watchful of, and even help give you a remediation plan. So if you'd like to contact me, you can do so. I'm at victoriabaylor.com, and we can do a discovery call and see what your needs are and go from there. But I am here to inform, help, because I believe every woman out there is amazingly beautiful inside and out and has amazing brains, and that we need to create ourselves in such a way that we open doors of opportunity for us, and our personal branding is the ticket to that. So with that being said, have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next time when I cover a new personal branding tip. Take care.